Me hear him come debate blame me, sir. And just like for pointing out some of the points that me like for sharing, especially on the motion of no confidence, Mr. Speaker. First, Mr. Speaker, that few things that raised here, me hear him, on moving a motion, Mr. Speaker. I think, Mr. Speaker, lo sabe blo miselewa, Mr. Speaker, that motion can move on any reasons, no matter, Mr. Speaker. But number one thing is, if you don't have the number, motion by move against him, you know. I know all of you who have been prime ministers, number not taken before coming. We voted you with numbers before you became a prime minister. You stand for prime minister, number not will vote you. A motion can be the same. If you don't have the number, any government at all, the opposition side will move a motion. And this is real. So I think understanding Blomi might be wrong, Mr. Speaker, but that is how I look at things. Also, Mr. Speaker, me just like for also tell him, Mr. Speaker, all of us are leaders. Anybody can move to any side based on his principles, Mr. Speaker. Example, Mr. Speaker, the history of me come, you cannot look him. Member for Ismail at him jump. Any side no more. Him jump because of his own principles, his own reasons. That's not him move. But for you look at me, go there, me come back here, Naragaman, me go on, no more, Mr. Speaker. His principle, blow me, tell him now. If me stay there, something him not straight, lo mind blow me, but me go here, Mr. Speaker. I will move. But me move. But before me move, I will advise the Prime Minister. And me happy for telling Prime Minister, me vote for him. My brother, I vote for him to become a Prime Minister. And that is why my principles, Mr. Speaker, if me looking something good, but me tell him, Prime Minister, I'm not happy with this. This is how my leadership now, Mr. Speaker. But me talk to you. Me no happy lo this one. I don't know with others, we all have different principles in leadership. But that is for me, Mr. Speaker. I will come out very frank and talk to you no more, the Prime Minister. Leadership. PM, me no happy lo this one. Why not this one have no solve? So that is why movements, I think, Mr. Speaker, have different reasons, but like mover have move with the reasons that imminent sabe. But reasons have other colleagues too, yeah. Otawa selama ba siya na immediate sabe. And that is why lo selama meeting him. It's not only reasons, but also numbers. Numbers is very important. Because of our principle on democracy. Hem say number rule no more. So that's why time me listen lo me go ahead forward here. Lo me say Mr. Speaker, me just say no more. I think I'm waiting each one no more. And then hem lo also numbers and play a very big thing lo any motions, Mr. Speaker. But I'm not saying come easy, Mr. Speaker. Numbers for you, Garem, I'm a little bit harder. And it comes when appropriate, Mr. Speaker. Then you look in number law, one side now. And then you look in motion of no confidence come. So, sir, I think it's good for me understanding more things here. I mean, that's my own view on motions. When we would like to move motions, also, Mr. Speaker. So that is how we move, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Loa Garem, what own principles blow me that make me move? So, me just like for today, by me no tell me stay long time law independent now, Mr. Speaker. But there, my reasons still remain. My reasons still remain. And we look, I'm not solved yet. I'm not solved yet. The reasons why I move, I'm still remain. So, me no say, ano ba mi sawe time behind me solve. But leaving him stop was him now. Me move finish now. Me move law independence finish and me stop law there finish. And now motion him come. And me stop law decide too, yeah. So time Nara party come, me stay with him, me accept him. Because I'm decide. So Mr. Chair, I think, Mr. Speaker, I have some thoughts number for sharing for me. All of us are leaders. All of us are prime ministers. Lawyer, as long as you're a member of parliament, you can be a prime minister. You can be a prime minister. If what group like him, you number law there, you prime minister now. By voting you become prime minister. So all of us here are leaders. Any one of us have become prime minister. Minister of Health, what a women. Women can be prime ministers. Other countries, women are prime ministers. So, Mr. Speaker, it's just only here how we look him, Mr. Speaker. If you like him become a prime minister, Mr. Speaker, you must become a good leader where you listen before you speak. Unite in a group rather than you dividing. And place in welfare, law people, or law members first. Mr. Speaker, Mila quote more Wesley Bible. Jesus said, whoever wants to be great among you must be servant. Holy book blame me, why you may run, you may read in Bible. I'm reminding him that leadership is not about being above others, but about lifting others up. My colleague, brother members of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, if him told like him become a leader more, him told must live with him integrity. Do him what I am right when it is difficult. Live with him wisdom, Mr. Speaker. Wisdom no something to go school him, to ask him God, no man give him info. For rule, for lead, Mr. Speaker. Make him decisions carefully for nation and people of this whole nation. Humility, Mr. Speaker. Lead with humility. Accept him what I advise. And admit him some of the mistakes him told him. If him told us accept him advice, may problem na. As me say, but everyone leaders naman. You can be a prime minister. I can be a prime minister. And unite. Unite him a group. Bring him a group together always. Treat him everybody fair. Treat him everyone same. Not only looking at few and others no more. That's why you problem. And that's why by any problem. So me just like to share a little bit no more, Mr. Speaker. I mean, because I've retired too, and I'm not looking forward more for Prime Minister at any time. Because of go down to rest too. But me just giving for if I like to become a Prime Minister, next elections, if you will come in the future, and look at those things. I can help you time you become a Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, compassion. You must get a heart of compassion to each other. This is very important. You must get for members inside the group. Sometimes have to have problems. As me say come under what a few prime ministers, and I learned a lot from what now leadership. These are things that you have to have. If you know Garam, you break him something, everyone run all about. And then we struggle to unite back the group. But I'm late now, Mr. Speaker. This is something real. We have gone through it. And I'm talking about something that I have been going through it, Mr. Speaker. So, sir, I'm good for when we come with the motions, sir, Mr. Speaker. I mean, me, Totaraway, words, I think I'm not good, Mr. Speaker. I'm not much good for me pointing figures and throw stones to each other. Yeah, Mr. Speaker. I'm good number for me calm. Yeah. And I mean some members we just tell them what now really, yeah? What now really happened with us to him. I'm just telling mind blend. Because me tell him in the first place, Mr. Speaker, people move because of what law. Hat lot no feel good here. And no feelings sometimes make a man for him move. Because of him feel hurt. That what him ask for, him like him no come to him. That advice, yeah. Can we sort out these things? Yeah, but if you don't listen, as Mr. Wood, listen is very important. Small something no more. Mr. Speaker, sometimes beginning no more, but you know, like listen them. Yeah? Beginning play selber. Hem talk to you, hem like him something. But you say, go. Hem ask no more for $2. Yeah? $2 just to pay a gum. But think about the money that you spend for your cigarette. How much does it cost? $30, $40. So it's simple, Mr. Speaker, that we listen to each other. Listen. That small advice where money like Talemu, and very good advice. Pick him up, Mr. Speaker. So I think me go out of the motion, but it's something in my heart that me like for sharing this whole motion. But that's on the leadership and on the motion that imi move that imi sanfala imi lukulem as reasons now for pulling into Allah, but Lomino, I think me look him, even numbers and count. Numbers is very important. So numbers not bringing him to a Kamlo Parliament this time. For him to come from try for look him now. Him through 27 or decide, Mr. Speaker. It is where we test the numerical strength. Mr. Speaker. So we just like for say, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for facilitating this day for him become the House Premier. For him become and move on this for the motion. For him looking, Mr. Speaker. So, I think I have no more few things me like for sharing with this motion. There are other things, but me say, we leave him now because me go out long time now, Mr. Speaker. But me look, the reasons why me go out them, I'm stopped it. I'm stopped it. And I think others have been raising some other questions to him. So that is why me say, I'm no good for me, total restore. No, I'm no good. I think we come here, we come with humility in this house, as me say, as leaders, for me, look him no motion. I think that one not be like for talk about, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I talk to you as leader of independence, Mr. Speaker. And also representing my people of East Malaita constituency. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. And I support the motion, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Malaita. Would you like to start? I'll offer the first MP for Bali have the floor, sir, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute a little bit more on this very important motion. And I'm tabulumi too, in case you want to sabe. So, I'd like to thank him because he exercised another constitutional right in him. All of us here on this floor of Parliament, we have our constitutional rights to move any motion. And on that note, now, me thank you, for the motion of no confidence. Why have we tabled him? For us to debate and decide on this floor of Parliament, Mr. Speaker. I'd also like to thank the Prime Minister for the past few weeks where we are in government. Not only that, but the cabinet ministers too. And also I ask the Supervising Minister of Public Service, let me thank what the public servants do for their time and for being able to ensure and to make sure that their roles are executed and that the government mechanisms are on foot and in work out. Time me struggle with this sort of motion for the past, I think, more than 50 days now. So, me like to thank you, public servants, as Minister Supervising. Thank you so much for being able to ensure the country blaming function, being able to ensure that the important services are delivered to our people. Mr. Speaker, Mataya, as you say today, it's a unique motion because it was directed by the courts. And so I was in the courts. I will not interfere with the court, I know. But I was in the courts listening when the matter was in the High Court. Every day, you know, there. every day, other colleagues are there. Yes, yeah, we were there listening. I have no differences. Because for threatening things, court never must threatening things here. And I was there. Time for appeal rule no me go lot tabulu bilo sabo me no escape but me go lot there. Me no stop time ruling law court of appeal. And the court of appeal me rule and me directing me for him sit down here. Observation blowing on, Mr. Speaker. My observation is the reason why him is so delayed in the court system is because the laws blowing me have not addressing what now the impasse in my experience, Mr. Speaker. When there was a movement, a deflection, 28 members on our side, they call, but the laws are ambiguous. Prime Minister has his own position, Governor General has his own positions, which we respect too. And the other side got their own position too. And that is why we go to the courts. And the court then say, no more, you may convene. I, as a lawyer by profession, that's the right process, Mr. Speaker. What I'm saying here is, Mr. Speaker, the way forward for him addressing this situation is he must amend the Constitution, lady. For Constitution, I'm stating clearly, Mr. Speaker, that when there is majority on the other side, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That is what is missing in my respectful view, Mr. Speaker. That is why he will go to court, and the court have delayed me for past 3 weeks or 4 weeks. You mean only for Rara beginning law, you must make a way forward. What now as Parliament members, we have to resolve this by Parliament too. There's a gap in the law, Mr. Speaker, and my proposition, Mr. Speaker, here is we have to amend the Constitution or come up with the relevant law that when there's deflection, where there's majority on the other side, step 1, this one. Step 2, this one. Step 3, 4, and 5, then you may come with. That's what is missing, Mr. Speaker. You put him come and say, no, you are not sabe. Me not here for me throwing stones to each other. I'm here to rectify what I'm looking missing. And it's the Parliament that by me got an obligation to make laws for this country. And that's the way forward, Mr. Speaker. We must do that. Otherwise, by next week, no more Savaliba jam come in, we will file a motion. And by also no more. Not a weekend, even not a motion. By also, and that's the effect of it, Mr. Speaker. We have to protect this Parliament by ensuring and ensuring and to ensure that the provisions in the law are accommodating that. And that's my point. Point number 1, Mr. Speaker. So we have been country here for past 50 days. Me thinking, what the motion here come up lawyer? Also, me travels. What will be the motion? What the grounds for him? Here we come today with greatest respect for Tabu Lomi. Me join him. Member Law Southeast Threshold and Central Canal too. That me not looking at any grounds too. There are grounds, but there are no valid grounds, Mr. Speaker. Maybe reading Lomina no more. There are grounds there, but I don't see any valid grounds for him exiting the current Prime Minister. How now for him to move forward, Mr. Speaker, on that motion? I think we join him others too, Mr. Speaker. The Constitution, Mr. Speaker, Hamina clearly states that you have to put him at the reasons or your grounds for moving the motion in the letter to the Speaker. We need to amend that, Mr. Speaker. We must amend the Constitution here. For the mover, for him to state him clearly what not grounds for him to move the motion. That is essential, Mr. Speaker, because there are principles in the Constitution where we say all of us have the right for fair hearing, fair trial. You have to state in come, the Prime Minister must prepare his defense. And that is why you may lock up lawyer, because we don't know what to debate. Yeah? If the motion I'm stipulating ground 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm already prepared to, yeah? That I'm what I'm not many constitution here. Make him debate him interesting. Make him provide him defense for me. Or point the motion and against me also. This is my defense. Because all of us have the right of fair hearing, of fair trial. Otherwise, by ambushing me, and I'm not prepared for that, Mr. Speaker. Me pointing way forward, no, I'm not here to say, you will get a number or there, numbers there. Me travel look no way forward. And no more points for me, Mr. Speaker. You have the number there, if the motion is moved, bam, go through there. I'm also. And so, with greatest respect, as I said, me think once motion and move properly, by me vote for 2 years. Yeah. But me fail for looking that one, Mr. Speaker, with due respect. Me fail for looking that one. And that is why me looking go over today. I'm also me around with him husband and wife home in the house. And that is why I'm putting him the throw stones at each other. Because tomorrow, by me stay under one roof room, I'm also here. Motion once I pass today, tomorrow in my lobby, my man by cross lane, you whisper lo you blame more. Also, we are leaders. And I respect the rights of others to time you move, of course, different reasons. Some personal, some whatever reason. But me, Mr. Speaker, you want to man me stable to myself. And I must say this on this floor of Parliament. I've been through hard times here. The riot, people roll me on Maleta, say you step down, you resign from Prime Minister. Out not this time. My voters. But me advocating what? Continuity. Me advocating government must continue, must be in place. Time coming, COVID-19, another motion come on. Me never move. Because custom will buy them also time you married. You married somebody where you married him one fella, two fella thing. You married go over time somebody am dying now, he just leave him, yeah? I'm also yeah. I'm also. Because by tomorrow by will come decide, no, I'm also. So today, Mr. Speaker, my position is by Mr. Honourable Prime Minister. And I will object, I will oppose the motion, but I may remain with him until they do us apart. I'm all set. I'm not caliber Romeo, but no do that. Then next, tomorrow, no, you will speak in come with this couple of people, I'm all right. But last night, me sleep na, me come out in the morning na, me look go to hotel, me was stay like me. I'm out bike here. Outback Hotel. And then we stay like somebody was away when I'm outback, somebody was away. We stay now outback. But time will come lo me enter Parliament na me look go back me look outback lo them so true now. I think today by me out, but tomorrow I think by me back. With this, Mr. Speaker, me opposition and me not supporting the motion. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. We'll give you the floor to Honourable MP for Shortlands, Minister for Home Affairs of the floor, sir.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable Prime Minister Jeremiah Malele, Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Ministers, Members of Parliament. As MP for Shortland Islands, I rise today with a very heavy heart during this motion of no confidence debate. Because what I'm witnessing is not merely a political disagreement. It is a matter that directly affects the stability, confidence and future direction of our nation. Mr. Speaker, the Solomon Islands is watching us closely. They are not interested in political games, internal coalition struggles, or personal ambition. They are interested in stability, service delivery, development, employment opportunities, and the well-being of their families. This is why I believe we are seriously reflect on the true reason behind the motion before we can decide the future direction of our country. Mr. Speaker, one of my greatest concerns is timing. We now have approximately only 16 months remaining before the next national general elections. 16 months is an extremely short period for an incoming government to establish itself, restructure ministries, appoint new leadership arrangements, redirect policies, and attempt to deliver meaningful national transformation. The reality is the new administration formed at this stage would spend most of its time reorganizing government machinery instead of delivering real outcomes to our people. In my view, this creates unnecessary disruption to the country. Mr. Speaker, many of our key transformative ministries and national programs have already begun implementing important reforms under the current GNAT government policy direction. Significant groundwork has already been laid across various sectors of government. Projects are already rolling out. Policies are already being implemented. Development programs are already in motion. But sadly, many of these transformative agendas are now being abandoned or weakened because of coalition disagreements and political diversions within the government camp itself. This is deeply unfortunate. These coalition agreements should have been used to strengthen national unity and accelerate development delivery, not destabilize government during a critical implementation phase. Mr. Speaker, as the Minister responsible for Home Affairs and social well-being within our country, I am deeply concerned about the broader social implications of political instability. History has taught us that uncertainty in leadership can create fear, division, public anxiety, economic hesitation, and social tension amongst our people. We must never underestimate the emotional and social impact political instability can have on our ordinary citizens, businesses, investors, youth, and communities throughout our provinces. The people want assurance. They want continuity. They want leadership that places national interests above coalition calculations and political positioning. Mr. Speaker, one of the most disappointing aspects of this current situation is the growing perception that coalition agreements and political interests are now being prioritized above the national interest of Solomon Islands. That is dangerous. Governments are elected to serve the people first, not political arrangements first. Leadership must always place country before coalition, national stability before political maneuvering, and long-term development before short-term political advantage. Mr. Speaker, the government of GNAT has already established policy directions and implementation frameworks that ministries are currently working under. Changing government at this stage poses a real risk of redirecting national policies, delaying ongoing projects, disruption, investor confidence, and creating uncertainty within the public service. Many development partners, stakeholders, and ministries are already aligned with existing government priorities. A sudden transformation now may force unnecessary policy reversals as administrative delays and interruptions to programs that are already benefiting our people. Mr. Speaker, no government is perfect. Every administration faces challenges, but leadership must also be measured by stability, continuity, and the ability to complete what has already been started. The people of Solomon Islands deserve consistency in governance and certainty in national direction, especially during these remaining months leading to the next election cycle. In closing, Mr. Speaker, I appeal to all honourable members of this House to carefully consider the long-term interests of our nation beyond immediate political interests. Let us protect stability, let us protect continuity, let us protect the confidence of our people, and above all, let us place Solomon Islands first. And as member of Solomon Islands, I do not support this motion, and I resume my seat. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Let me give the floor to the Honourable before Kaubugotu. Sorry, Maringa Kokota. Minister, you have the floor, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you for giving the member for Maringa Kokota the space to also contribute and share on what we are here to debate. Like my other colleagues also express disappointed that we do not have a reason given for this motion. But from expression given by some colleagues, I will comment on those. And I'd like to say I stand to speak on behalf of the women, youth and children of this country too. As a newcomer in politics, coming to this honorable House to see motion move every after 6 months since the beginning. And I need to know what exactly the reasons are for moving these motions. Well, everyone has their own reasons and your own right to move the motions, but our people are watching us. They are wondering, what are the reasons for this instability almost every 6 months? But now we are satisfied with it. So thank you, my colleague here. You really expressed well what the movement has been ever since May 2024, December 2024, after we formed the government. The movements, going here, going there. And so when you talk about number, democracy number, my number has never changed overnight no more. So it comes to the constitution, I think you need for amending. I remember talking the first motion. I see it as every 6 months. You jump go on another side, more jump. My goodness. Me for a woman looking man jump, follow new wife, new girlfriend all the way. Hard to must for like a new year. But beginning everywhere by me how ya? Me take him come picture of family inside lo here. You may try absorbing some of this one because people are watching us. Para instability because of that one, and if a lot of brothers blooming, if a move the jump, please think about the people blue me, we're voting you me come. What are voting me come for jump? What if a jump go there, or say me? You know, laugh, remember. So that's why now the reason for amending constitution, I think, is becoming very, very important. And so you may look that for amendment. Some for reason like undecided leadership. My colleague Hem Talem. For the last how many months, as a deputy prime minister there, all the decisions are made law cabinet. Why now you mean no make him points below you mean inside law cabinet, inside law caucus? Does it really have to make us move out? What now the reasons why you mean no are stable? And also talking about party room negotiations, no walkout, no productive. I understand that forming a government here by parties, we have to sign party agreement. But do we really know what not inside the party agreement yet? I mean, we signing, or are we saying that we signing agreement here today? Me no happy with him, me jump now. Me put him come back to family mo. You me married. Give him go ring lo finger blow Mrs. Sign him wedding certificate 6 months after. Him no, you know happy lo him no ma. Tear him wedding certificate, toro him wedding ring, run golo narawa. Him nice. Me make him come osem sorry, woman na to koya so. Me like him kolo teman listen. How long na ba you me osem? You mean needing stability for doing things for this fellow country, for our women and children and youth of this fellow country. Some fellow issues were brought up. Or the issues where government try to deal with them. Sir French Wolf, I heard someone brought it up. You may try to deal with them. But if you run away, go, mahuna by deal with them. You follow away, you deal with them. Now you follow run away with them. Or run away from. One fella statement to me here, Jinat by Sakim PFP. That fella statement him no come from Jinat. Him come from Yufal Nara side Seleva. So, if already for married, but suppose if all know this, if all not trust in each other by married 1 week no more, or by how? Some will comment or say. Anyway, so in concluding, me like to say, no any reason given for this for motion, yeah? So me no sabe agree lo a motion that him no garem any reason and no garem any strong reason for me support him. So but me no support him this fella motion, yeah. Thank you too much.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Any further comments from this floor? Thank you, Honourable MP for West Gwale.
Northwest.
Northwest Gwale. Thank you.
Speaker, you know, conviction or the constituency. But anyway, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity for also contribute to this motion. Let me be very brief, because I think the first thing that you may try to discuss around him now, what now purpose or what now the reason below this fella motion. I think others already mentioned him. One fella is the number. If you don't have the number, I mean, there's no confidence. This motion is about leadership, Mr. Speaker. It's about leadership. Stability of the government is the responsibility of the Prime Minister. And if I'm not able to manage him, the group, let him look after him, then why should I have confidence in the Prime Minister? Any organization is just as good as the people that are running it. And if the other side wouldn't realize, wouldn't look survey, what no reason why people walk across his head, that's very sad. Heminim that you don't look here, and you don't even think about others. What a story here, you go around, go. You go touch a lot of other things for him, importantly, you know. Me once upon a time, me look after my provincial government, and me also set in record of the province. Me hold him government until he finish. And I know what it means for look after him and for running government. People also me number two, I got them different ideas, different needs. Every day I have to sit down with them, discuss with them more, what now? Division blue, what na policy, blue group blue, what deal with him, and me support him more. So time we talk about in policies and all the things, yeah, everything come back on the no man. Prime Minister sit down over there, cabinet ministers, blah, do different something altogether. Me like for telling this is a good motion because him no detail him or the issues whereby me term stone each other. You no come for term stone here. You come for resolve the leadership issue that you got him. Otherwise today by him to term stone will go and up. By me rowdy and mess. Him good now. At least you got to tell him something where him try for hide him here. He become no for resolving the issue or the number, he will decide, and he meaning that he not got him confidential prime minister. Because watching me go deep man. By somebody me implicate something here. True man. Me time come move out after 1 week, me like to go back here. But time other any can pay for suffer me, give him things that on people blame me. How do I trust in government here? You talk about national interest? Is that national interest? Other outstanding issues where I'm affecting country, immediately resolve number two. Some fella no list below the things where you sign him last time, where you tell them what people personally did me. Some issues where you should also need to sit down and discuss it, but it was never been addressed. Confidence, involve a lot of things here. And then premise law, a lot of things, like respect, trust, openness, communication of oversight. So me come here today for talent, me not got confidence never. Because all the things we talk about like accountability, responsibility, me don't look him no more something, yeah? What kind of accountability now you mean talk about time you sit down no more, then other people are doing something just reliably no more. Maybe you don't even look him because you should look him, yeah? The biggest reason why Milakwa Stadium here on the lack of confidence here, my Prime Minister does have managing pollution blue here. The people who are voting you to become the Prime Minister, you should manage him over. But by the way, I have a colleague got to mention him here. This is not to three for if I said no more to him. Me follow some come for film upon gap no more. I mean, have not one to have a colleague got to mention today. As if the Prime Minister, you don't got him control over the team, yeah? One or two more pull strings. Yeah. Team of fishing trading. But Mr. Speaker, sir, this motion of no confidence is an important one, as we already acknowledge him. And me like him because even detail him what not some reasons and some reason or the colleagues mentioned finish, but him go further more. And then we say, baby starts throwing stone, yeah. So time we talk about national interest, what kind of interest they talk about him, time me some projects below you me, if I'm given no relative to Yemen. No man, you good for him, because something where you talk about smaller behind him, back to each other. So, Mr. Speaker, send me like mentioned with those few things no more. The other thing that me also like for talk about to mention here no more. 51 days now, you may drag him country into total darkness. Leadership, you should resolve the issue a long time now. Yeah? As leaders, you should resolve it now, but you may have to go to court of appeal. One for the reason why me no got confidence in me must tell him for. If I was the Prime Minister, me resign or me call him Parliament fix the first week in the month. If me resolve this issue and put the country back a cost plan. The way you run him country, so me run hard for power no more. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, also me tell them confidence in me and premise of so many other things here. And if somebody walk out from you or from the government, there is a reason why. And the second is not my colleague finish. And one of the big solutions now, the move at is now, you may not number one. How number you pass him any legislation or parliament time you know get a number of cabinet? Is that not a good reason for motion of no confidence? With that, Mr. Speaker, I may support him this motion and me receive statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable MP for North West for open now. Any further members wish to take the floor? MP for West Are, have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this space. By me talk a little bit time now, I sound sweet lomiso. I would also like to join that sweet chorus, Mr. Speaker, in debating this historical motion, because Hemi creative history come now, as you know, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for this space. Sir, motion him start how ya? Number him go. Number blow where? Blow government now. Chinat. Mi follow man lo opposition as you saw me was sit down no more. Try and hide. But the number him come out lo government. Why? So you may ask him how more. What money no picking in here? They're all leaders. We 50 leaders here, Mr. Speaker. So number him come out, 19 of them come join him opposition. Then him at the number go 28. Then Constitution lo me him kick in now, Mr. Speaker. For me redeem no more. Number where him give him Prime Minister, you me elect him majority. Hem no molodia, minority come in, Constitution hem clear, hem tarim inter noma. For him tell simple noma, simple in thinking. On behalf of the people that they have put us in this chamber, Mr. Speaker, simple people, let's accord them that simple mind. So, stand in order, hem also clear, Mr. Speaker. But then, we choose for him to no agree with him number, yeah? PPI record him number clearly. 28 sit down, go Rasema. How many weeks then him go down 27? So still majority. The Constitution speaks well of that. So him to go through process because right there, right. Right for him to for sit down, right for you for make him on decision you. Right law who for imtalko court high court then imtal kasim court of appeal, Mr. Speaker. So then number him go me for law are hemi current principle him, Mr. Speaker, where hemi kaitim imtuala lo tintin about okata leadership. Topik saya hem se ose, Mr. Speaker. Lo number hem go. lo arare pa usabe hem because hem maram ko masisi ini o. Solo you, Mr. Speaker, hem no sa smell, you no sa smell me. Big so for good. Ma okata mania so hem smell mo because okata around you. Hem smell. That's why okata go. Suppose hem no sa smell, okata no sa go ya. Hem now, this all wisdom topic sa blo areka hem say. But hem no sa smell you. So you think already said, ako tim time for you tin others, tin look at the principle, get wisdom in to guide you, Mr. Speaker. So kataman ko mas something na smell now. Me still opposition, mahem si smell come too. Yeah, I have heard what was happening in government in China. Yeah. So me and smell me too. So even for go across, mas something si smell now. And they themselves decided that they can no longer tolerate, Mr. Speaker. So okay, come out and write blow at the two under the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. So this motion, though historical, as him told us I finish and social media, put him. Hemi also keep him right look at the 50 members here for the side. So look here. Then him to talk about what now? Reasons. You know MP na, you know sa reasons here. You know sa joining parliament. You know mo inside the caucus, cabinet. You know mo inside the ministry. You ignore him no more, Mr. Speaker. We've been talking and speaking about we have a heart for this country. True one too, Mr. Speaker? No more. Then talking about the reasons. Talk about the amendment to the Constitution. Make a hamster kind motion and move here. Some fellow forget him no more. I just moved yesterday no more. Some fellow even forget him no more. I belong to party too, but to move. So these are serious, and we are if internal stability, these are urgently needed to be addressed. And me support him that long time me sit down with him, Mr. Speaker. We have to do something about it because we cannot continue for him to be most of this country as leaders. Let's be serious. And I thank God for this intervention of this time. Me too. Me prepare with him too, yeah, Speaker. God has planned for this country. People of this nation has been crying in prayer so that they are served with heart and love. Maybe that one now. 8 weeks of sitting down, Mr. Speaker, and we warrant him that no matter 6 months or 16 months or whatever time he left, time is still there. And we are just moving into the future, Mr. Speaker. Let's him to strengthen what is needed to be strengthened, address. Let's do it, Mr. Speaker. So him to talk here. Osi mimto no sa what happen. You sabe no more, but me love him okay topic sa lo areka ya. Him say mo, you go hide. But you no sabe that you hide behind no more me trip. Me find one looking backside blue no more. But you say me hide ya. No more. Backside blue so out. Think about people knows about you. What you did, what you've been doing in your service and in your leadership. You hide behind mid-rib. You hide behind mid-rib. So you think that you hide behind big mighty rock, big hill? No more, mid-rib, broomsticky, Mr. Speaker. And so time in toto, yeah, people knows. O kata sabi man toto kaya no mo tu ya, me hide behind what ya? So some of the issues that we have raised, it gives me a clear understanding that we don't know where we are hiding. But the place you may hide no more. Broomsticky no me to hide behind. Me fal arka looking osim. So me last talk no more. Me join him the other colleague that has spoken before me. Chair. Chair, him make me sit down long time now, 8 months here, 8 weeks. What now inside the chair? I have been wondering, me, 14 blow me, Mr. Speaker, but me no really understand him chair, yeah. Chair blow Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker. Chair, him make me umtola. Me no sabe no. People hungry too much, crazy too much, lohem, desperate, to him any kind something so that okata maintain him okat lo chair. You gloomy lo chair. Make me move with him no man. The chair belongs to the 50 members of parliament. Me too, me like him chair, me like for sit down him too. But I am not in command of the majority, the 25. Plus 1, I'm 1, 26. But 25 na minute him. So, time minusa karim, pa minusa sit down lo chair. But people, despite you know karim, okay, like for sit down lo him and do all sorts of things, Mr. Speaker, even tracking on. The experience we have had is history, Mr. Speaker. I'm straight one no more. 1 week, Tavia Tarem finished law intervention plan. Testing law flow now. If number no more law you himself 28 was 28, 22. 10 them now. Blow people yeah. No blame tola. Tau picture blow arakamoya. Hem no blow you ya. Hem no blow family ya. Hem blow soul monelan. You no treat him as him family thing. No more. Misa same him, Mr. Speaker. It belongs to the nation to the right thing to save the people and children of this country. Hem chia blokatel. And him tola no raul him tola no holem him tola no to any kind something for him tola. Make sure chair him sit down lo there. What name inside lo chair? What name behind? I know something is there. Wooden chair no more. Kusin wana. By him tola no karim interest also him something else. Me still wonder. I'm still questioning myself about what now. Hence I created those motives behind that chair. Him tola desperate and like that die for him, Mr. Speaker. Even country himself with him tola him. Me still look. Hey, what? So, sir, me just like for wisdom okata tintinya for imtola. So from now on, imtola leaders now let's get us back to humility. Let's save this country and our people with that heart. Imtola save him okata with him. Imtola totok no maya, actionnya no more. And so imtola implement him okat policy. Imtola save him okata. And me very welcome now this opportunity as someone that me sit down the opposition. Me too, me like for me save him country as a minister in government. Some fella toto ko sem okata no mo for minister all the way. No more share him too. Or a chance here. Me too, but me like him some fella chance too. And so the motion gives me that opportunity. And me value, me look forward to him. If him now plan, blow this motion, God him like him tell to him a little bit adjustment, changes more, awesome. But me thank him, those that they moved to us opposition, thank you. Okay, now feel him smell too much now. Him hard for what to sit down with him, and they move out. And him no time for him to Weston. O kata reasons sabos him tell make him go by Weston. Reasons how move him karim now constitutionally. His reasons already spoken. Him present him finish. No matter one reason, one word. That's it. It's allowed under the Constitution as a motion, of no confidence, Mr. Speaker. So him don't question him what yeah. Awesome. Those that always say sabos reasons come by o kata support no lie me man. That's why you support him now. You don't have a sign. Also, no, him must honest too. No lie, lo people blame tala. You can't support it despite how many thousands of reasons by okata move him give him no more. By behind him just jump him. So me just like for resistem okatia about him tala no height, him tala height behind me trip. Solo him tala. Wound lim tola him smell. O kata mana smell him you sell hot because him lo you him bara sweet no more and smell nice. And that chair something is there. Tasaway imtola. Tutu mo something o semlo hem, Mr. Speaker. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, me para support the motion.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Western Are. The floor is still open for any member who wishes to. No. Well, first of all, the motion is against the Prime Minister, so he has a right to respond to that. So all of them have to. If not, then of course I'll give the Prime Minister to make a summary before I call on the mover of the motion to move the motions. Honourable Prime Minister, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are here today because the courts have set down this date specifically for Parliament to debate a motion of no confidence. After the Court of Appeal handed down its decision, I stated that I will comply with the court orders. I did that, and on Monday, 4th of May, I wrote to you in compliance with the court order to set down today, 7th May 2026, as the day to debate the motion of no confidence. I also notified His Excellency, the Governor-General, of this as well. Mr. Speaker, first, I wish to thank all the former ministers, some of them who have spoken today, who have resigned. Thank you for putting your hand up to save our people and country. I would also like to thank the former chairpersons of parliamentary standing committees for discharging your constitutional duty by providing the necessary oversight over the executive. I am sure that you will continue to serve our people in whatever role you take up with integrity and humility. Sir, I would also like to thank those who have stood by me throughout the past 7 weeks. Your confidence and trust in me are very humbling indeed. I am grateful and will always treasure the loyalty that you have demonstrated. Sir, as you know, in politics, loyalty is an invaluable currency. Without loyalty, there can be no trust. Loyalty and trust are two of the most important ingredients in any political union. I therefore wish to thank all members of Parliament of our party and Kandahar Party who have stood with me during these challenging times. Mr. Speaker, let me also take the opportunity to thank my former Deputy Prime Minister for his support during his tenure as Deputy Prime Minister. Sir, he assured me several times when he was DPM, and just a couple of days before he resigned, that he will be with me until the end of the 12th Parliament. I'm not sure whether it was in Jinat or in Parliament. But sir, when I look back, he had gone with the rest of his PFP colleagues. Tosa Pepereolo, morning devotion of Prime Minister's office. Deputy Prime Minister, how are you? Everything all right? So Prime Minister, everything all right? You know what I love me follow PFP. The new colleagues here, me follow managing what I know. Second time at Erangona. So, leader of opposition, you have to be very careful as to who you are dealing with and sitting next to. Anyway, I recognize his constitutional right to bring a motion of no confidence against me on the floor of Parliament. This is your right, and you have chosen to exercise it, since you saw that the principle of majority rule is in peril. As members of Parliament, we too have a right to debate and vote on this motion of no confidence. This is a right that we exercise, not only for ourselves, but on behalf of our people who we represent, and importantly for the future of our democracy. That is why at the start of our meeting, when the mover of the motion asked whether I should resign now, I said no, let's debate this so that our people can hear what really is at stake. So, Mr. Speaker, let me, before I forget, also respond very briefly to the comments and observations made by the former Minister of Public Service and the MP for North West Rolkanal, talking about leadership. Also, just before he left, I asked him, Minister, how are you? Is everything all right? And he said, Prime Minister, I'll be with you. I support your leadership all the way through. That's what he said. Mr. Speaker, this is the first time that I am made aware of the reasons why this motion is moved. I must say that I'm greatly disappointed that I'm put at a great disadvantage of literally not having time to prepare a response to these reasons and allegations. I did raise this with you, but you have made your ruling, and I respect your ruling. Sir, regardless of that, allow me to share some of my thoughts on this issue. I feel that the recent court decision in establishing a duty in the Prime Minister to convene Parliament to debate a motion of no confidence also gives rise to a corresponding duty on the mover of the motion to state the grounds of the motion, setting out the reasons why Parliament should resolve that it has no confidence in the Prime Minister. A very important point that has been raised by the Minister of Fisheries and the powerful, Forestry, and the powerful MP for Baiguas Fola. This is to give the Prime Minister adequate time to prepare a response to these allegations. In the case of David Dausaber versus City Mayor of Onera City Council, civil case 246 of 2002, Justice Palmer, as he was then, stated, and I quote, "There are all sorts and types of notices. A notice of appeal, for instance, gives notice to the other side of an intention to appeal and contains the grounds of appeal or reasons for the appeal. If no grounds or reasons are given, the appeal is described as having been filed without cause and can be summarily dismissed by the registrar of the Court of Appeal." End of quote. Sir, the requirement of a notice is vital to the notion of a fair hearing. It necessarily includes the right to have notice of the other side's case, and the right to be able to prepare argument or defense to be heard. The reference is HWR Wade on Administrative Law, 6th edition. The requirement of notice to enable a person to make his defense has been described as an ancient rule. Fortesque J. in Ara versus University of Cambridge traced this right to the Garden of Eden. Before Adam was judged, he was given opportunity by God to be heard. In Ara versus Secretary of State for the Environment, XP Southwark LBC, it was held that a proper hearing must always include and I quote, fair opportunity to those who are parties in the controversy for correcting or contradicting anything prejudicial to their view. End of quote. In Kanda versus Government of Malaysia, Lord Denning added, and I quote, "If the right to be heard is to be a real right, which is worth anything, it must carry with it a right in the accused man to know the case which is made against him. He must know what evidence has been given and what statements have been made affecting him, and then he must be given a fair opportunity to correct or contradict them." End of quote. See also RV Thames Magistrates Court, XP Polemis and Brent Hall versus Free Presbyterian Church of Scotland, which held that disclosure of the opposing case or charge must be made in reasonable time to allow the person affected to prepare his defense in his statements. In Mahon versus Air New Zealand Limited, it was held that he must have fair notice of any accusation against him, or where there is an inquiry, any person who might be affected by adverse findings should be given fair warnings so that he can defend himself against them at the hearing. End of quote. Mr. Speaker, I strongly believe that history is on my side in relation to the mover of the motion withholding the reasons behind the motion for reasons known only to himself. Of course, during the course of the debate, we've heard about some of those reasons. Yeah. Now, of course, the debate today, I'm also in debate in Sinedia too. And kind of issues no I had considered taking the matter up with the courts, but I felt that this is better. It is better we address this issue by reviewing the standing orders and constitution, especially the procedures relating to motions of no confidence, rather than arguing this matter in court and holding the whole nation at ransom. Earlier on, I had my good friend, the former chairman of the Parliamentary House Committee, and the powerful MP for Small Maita, responding to the comments made by the MP for East Coral Canal and the Minister for Fisheries that he should bring amendments to the standing orders. But, Mr. Speaker, I am not former chairman of the Parliamentary House Committee. The Parliamentary House Committee is in charge of amendments that have to be made with regards to standing orders. Why not I can come, Mr. Speaker? Yeah. We are leaders, and we must put the interests of our country first, and I agree with that, and that has been raised during the course of the debate. This is why I choose not to take this matter to court. I will leave these to whoever forms the next government to address these issues, especially considering the Court of Appeal decision. Say, with the deepest respect, I believe that the courts have set a dangerous precedent. Whilst I understand that the principle of majority rule is a fundamental tenet of representative democracy, it must be interpreted with the boundaries set out by our Constitution. I believe that the Constitution is silent on some of these issues, because it is not the intention of the Constitution to create a duty on the Prime Minister to convene Parliament to debate a motion of no confidence when that motion matures. If this was the intention of the Constitution, it would have been expressly stated. The decision by the Court will leave the Prime Minister at the mercy of any Member of Parliament who does not get his way to run to Parliament with a motion of no confidence and then force the Prime Minister to call Parliament. Because according to the Court of Appeal, there is a constitutional duty on the Prime Minister to convene Parliament to debate such a motion. Say this newly created constitutional duty will make the Cabinet vulnerable to state capture by private business interests, criminal syndicate or foreign interest. The Prime Minister will be left to the mercy of power brokers, because even when Parliament is adjourned and prorogued, the Prime Minister is duty-bound to call Parliament. Surely this is not what our Constitution intends. Our Constitution is designed in such a way to balance the principle of majority rule with our nation's need for political stability. This constitutional balance has been tampered with by the courts. I strongly feel that the courts have encroached into the jurisdiction of the legislature by creating a new constitutional duty in the Prime Minister without any express contextual provision. So this is, in my humble view, is judicial overreach of the highest order. The role of the judiciary is to interpret the law, not to write it. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to make one important clarification about the recent court proceedings. There has been a lot of loose talk outside this House as if the government lost everything in that case and the opposition won everything. That is not correct, and it is not what the Court of Appeal decided. The original claim that was filed in the High Court tried to put His Excellency the Governor-General at the center of our constitutional arrangements. It asked the courts to declare that the Governor-General has broad express, implied, and even so-called reserved powers to convene Parliament on his own, without or even against the advice of the Prime Minister, whenever some group of members claims to have a majority and wants a motion of no confidence. It also asked the courts to force His Excellency to exercise those alleged powers and to call Parliament with a fixed number of days. The Court of Appeal rejected that radical theory. It made it very clear that our Constitution is a detailed and exhaustive code. It's a detailed and exhaustive code on the powers of the Governor-General, and that when it comes to convening Parliament under Section 72, His Excellency must act in accordance with the advice of the Cabinet and the Prime Minister. So there is no freestanding express power, no implied power, and no hidden reserved power for the Governor-General to call Parliament on its own. In other words, the attempt to shift the center of gravity from an accountable Prime Minister and Cabinet to and onto an unaccountable head of state did not succeed. This was the Court of Appeal position. The Court of Appeal also confirmed that because the Governor-General has no such independent power, the courts cannot issue mandatory orders to force His Excellency to do something the Constitution does not allow him to do. The Governor-General's position that he cannot convene Parliament without advice was accepted as being consistent with the Constitution. Any effective remedy must operate through the Prime Minister and the normal advice structure, not by trying to turn the Governor-General into a political actor. So where the Court of Appeal did intervene was on a much narrower and more text-based ground. The Court accepted that Sections 34 and 35 of the Constitution, read together with Sections 31 and 72, create a constraint on how the powers to summon Parliament can be used. Once a motion of no confidence has matured, those powers cannot be exercised or withheld in a way that indefinitely frustrates the operation of Section 34. That is why the Court was prepared to grant declaratory and mandatory relief directed at the Prime Minister's constitutional responsibility to ensure that Parliament can actually sit to consider a matured motion of no confidence. So, Mr. Speaker, the government did not lose everything in this case. The Court of Appeal rejected the broad Governor-General-centered model that was pleaded by the claimants, and it reaffirmed the fundamental principle that the Governor-General must act on advice and cannot be turned into a parallel political decision maker. What the court did instead was to craft a limited constraint to safeguard the no-confidence mechanism in Section 34 while keeping the responsibility where the Constitution always intended it to be, with the elected government and the Prime Minister who must give advice in good faith. That is why I say with respect that this judgment raises serious questions about judicial overreach into the timing and management of parliamentary business. But it is equally important for our people to understand that the government successfully defended the core of our constitutional design, and that the Governor-General is not a political umpire, and that the accountability for convening Parliament remains with the Prime Minister and Cabinet, not with the Crown. Mr. Speaker, it is also important to understand the differences between the High Court judgment and the Court of Appeal judgment in this matter. The High Court took a much broader view of its powers. It framed my situation as a constitutional crisis, treated me as bearing a direct and general duty to convene Parliament, and then issued very strong mandatory orders requiring that Parliament be called within a fixed time frame, with the Governor-General mentioned as a kind of backup if I did not act. Say, by contrast, the Court of Appeal stepped back from that broad approach. It rejected most of the more adventurous arguments that tried to give His Excellency independent powers to convene Parliament, and instead re-anchored everything on a narrow, text-based constraint tied specifically to Section 34 and the no-confidence mechanism. Say, in practical terms, however, the effect of the Court of Appeal's decision is far-reaching. For the first time in our history, the High Court has effectively returned into our constitutional practice that a sitting Prime Minister can be brought before the courts and compelled by mandatory order to ensure that Parliament sits to deal with a motion of no confidence, even when Parliament has been properly adjourned or prorogued. The formal language talks about a constraint to prevent frustration of Section 34, but the real-world consequence is that the timing and management of no-confidence motions is now justiciable. This means that any further dispute over when Parliament should meet on a motion of no confidence will not be resolved only in the political arena, but can be taken back to the courts. Mr. Speaker, that is why I say that this decision, with the greatest respect to the court, risks cementing instability into our constitutional arrangements. It creates a pathway where any group of members who are unhappy with the government of the day can combine a motion of no confidence with court proceedings, and then ask the judiciary to intervene in the timing and program of Parliament. Instead of our Constitution acting as a shield to preserve stability while allowing for orderly changes of government, it can now be used as a lever to generate continuous uncertainty. That is not, in my respectful view, what the framers of our Constitution intended, and it is not the kind of precedent that will help Solomon Islands build the stable, predictable governance that our people need and deserve. Mr. Speaker, the danger in all of this is not just theoretical. By opening the door for the timing of no confidence motions to be litigated, the court has created an incentive for these motions to become a routine political weapon rather than a measure of last resort. In practical terms, it is now entirely possible that in any given year, a government could be dragged through 3, 4, or even 5 motions of no confidence, each accompanied by court proceedings over when Parliament must sit. That is not a recipe for stability or good governance. It is a recipe for permanent campaign mode, where governments spend more time surviving motions than delivering for our people. Mr. Speaker, I must also note, in those proceedings, the government specifically asked the Court of Appeal to address the legality of the so-called coalition agreement that lies at the very heart of this political impasse. We argued that the aspects of that agreement are themselves unlawful and inconsistent with our constitutional framework and with the safeguards in Section 53 of the Political Parties Integrity Act 2014, including the clear prohibition in Section 53(3) on post-election coalition agreements with independents or groups of independents, and we invited the court to say so. That issue was not properly met by the respondents, and with respect, the court chose not to grapple with it in its reasons at all. In effect, sir, the judgment turns a blind eye to the question of whether private political contracts that purport to predetermine ministerial portfolios and bind members in advance of parliamentary processes are compatible with the Constitution and with the statutory scheme under Section 53. That silence is deeply troubling. It leaves intact an arrangement that may itself undermine democratic accountability and the rights of members in this House, while at the same time placing new judicial constraints on how an elected Prime Minister and Cabinet manage the business of government. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is the third motion of no confidence that is brought against me. The first motion was moved against me after only 7 months in office. The second motion was brought against me just 5 months later, which, considering my government has only been in office for 24.5 months today, was only about 12 months ago. One of the main reasons that is being thrown around by the mover of the motion is that I am seen as a weak and indecisive leader in making decisions. Mr. Speaker, however, my style of leadership is based on consultation. I always consult before I make decisions. And as the parliamentary wing leader of our party, I must consult the party president, the Member of Parliament for Giza Kolombangara. I also consult with the chairman of caucus, the MP for West Tonera, and the deputy wing leader of our party, the MP for East Wurokana. I also consult the parliamentary wing leader of Kandare Party and Solomon Islands People's First Party as well, because they are coalition partners of GINAT before the People's First Party left GINAT. The former Minister of Health and Medical Services, my good friend and brother, did make reference to the advisory group which I created. On that particular occasion, I did not consult the advisory group because I already consulted the party wing leaders and deputy leaders. And they are the same people who are in the advisory group. Mr. Speaker, sir, I feel that I am in a catch-22 situation. When I consult widely, I am portrayed as weak and indecisive. If I do not consult and instead make decisions on my own, I'm accused of being dictatorial. Either way, there will always be some within GINAT who choose to criticize. Such is the nature of politics. Say I will not change my leadership style simply to satisfy personal preferences. I believe in a consultative approach, and I will remain true to that. If I am removed from office because I consult too much, then so be it. My conscience is clear. I have done nothing wrong. And as I've told colleagues who have left us, and also colleagues who are still here, my office is always open. You can always come in. If there are issues that you want to discuss with me, that you are not happy with, please come and see me. We also have caucus and cabinet. These are mechanisms that anyone can raise matters. And if there are policy matters, either it's on the economic transformation front, then members need to consult with relevant ministries to prepare papers and bring them to cabinet. My style of leadership is based on consultations. I always consult before I make decisions, as I've said. Mr. Speaker, I will not change my leadership style. I believe in a consultative approach. My conscience is clear, as I've said. On the matter of exemptions, I will not dwell on that. That has been raised by others, but the Honourable Minister of Finance has also made clarifications on that. But let us also be honest with ourselves in this chamber. A few of our own colleagues present in the House today have in the past supported or benefited from similar exemptions granted to companies or individuals which they hold an interest. This is a matter of public record. I do not wish to open another can of worms by going through those exemptions one by one. But the records are there and they can be produced if honourable members insist on turning this debate into a selective attack on exemptions. Mr. Speaker, I understand that one of the reasons given for mass resignations is my decision to revoke the appointments of 2 Solomon Islands People First Party ministers. I took that decision to restore balance in cabinet. And I explained this clearly to People's First Party, including to my 2 honourable colleagues of Parliament concerned. The decision was made in the spirit of the Political Parties Integrity Act to uphold fair representation for all parties within the government for national unity and transformation. In my view, the number of ministers from each party in GNAT must be broadly proportionate to that party's total number of MPs. In my mind, this was a necessary step to maintain fairness among coalition partners in cabinet. It was not apparent to me at the time that some within the coalition saw it differently. It later became clear that the People First Party wanted all of its MPs to hold ministerial portfolios, and this expectation was a central factor leading to the mass resignations. Mr. Speaker, this attitude is reflected in their coalition agreement, particularly in a clause which provides that all former ministers will retain their portfolios in any new government. In effect, this clause guarantees that all PFP former ministers keep their ministries unless they themselves choose otherwise. This is a striking provision because it places the People First Party in a very difficult position to negotiate with. Even if they withdraw from one coalition and join another, the bottom line remains that all their former ministers must continue as ministers. I accept that this may be understandable from their perspective. Many of these colleagues are new MPs or first-time MPs, and they may believe that holding ministerial office with its resources and visibility will help them to retain their seats in the 2028 national general election. Strategically, it is a clever way to hold on to power and maintain access to government resources. However, it can also be viewed as a self-centered approach that reflects a sense of superiority, as if no one else is suitable to serve as minister except themselves. Mr. Speaker, the past 7 weeks have been defined by the political storm members of this Honourable House inflicted upon ourselves and its associated court cases. Tropical Cyclone Mahila devastating our western and choiceable provinces, and the hike in fuel prices because of the war in Middle East. In this connection, I would like to acknowledge the patience of the people of Solomon Islands, the leadership shown by provincial and Honiara City Council leaders, community and church leaders, the support rendered by our development partners, the private sector, the SOEs and NGOs, and the commitment and dedication of the public service to ensure that government services and programs continue unabatedly over the past 7 weeks. Indeed, it has been a challenging 7 weeks. But the Lord Almighty, the Lord God Almighty is still on his throne in heaven, and his kingdom rules over all. Psalm 47, verse 8. Mr. Speaker said, as I have alluded to earlier, it is unfortunate that the motion being debated today simply states Parliament does not have confidence in the Prime Minister, without stating any reason or demonstrating any concrete evidence on the shortcomings of the Prime Minister that led to the Parliament losing its confidence on me as the Prime Minister of Solomon Islands. Of course, I do acknowledge and note some of the points, comments, or reasons alluded to by members who took the floor. But it would have been better if the mover of the motion outlined those grounds, those reasons in his opening statement. But as I've said earlier, at least alert me to those so that I can prepare my responses and respond appropriately. Mr. Speaker, allow me to outline to this Honourable House, for those on the other side of the House that have moved this motion, and for all the people of our beloved country, the achievements of the Government for National Unity and Transformation that I have had the honour to lead in the past 24 months. Mr. Speaker, sir, some of the achievements resulted from the continued implementation of transformative projects that had their beginnings during the tenure of the previous government by former Prime Minister, MP for East Choiseul, who is now the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for National Planning and Coordination. While some of the other achievements of transformative projects have been initiated during the past 2 years of the Government for National Unity and Transformation. Mr. Speaker, sir, these successes I'm about to share will demonstrate to the people of Solomon Islands a vote of confidence in the GNAT government and in my ability as Prime Minister to lead our country and secure the necessary resources and partnerships, both domestically and externally, to help Solomon Islands achieve its development aspirations. Let me now share these achievements with the people of Solomon Islands who are listening to the debate on this motion so that they can make their own decisions in relation to my leadership and have confidence that despite having led the government for only 2 short years, my government has delivered to this nation more successes than many previous governments in such a short time. Mr. Speaker, over the past 2 years, the GNAT government under my leadership has achieved many development milestones, including the following: the upgrade of the South Road in Malaita Province in partnership with Australia, the upgrade of the Kilufi Hospital in Malaita Province in partnership with the government of Japan. I do recognize the Minister of Health who has helped to also push this project forward. The Aoki Township and Road Upgrade Project in Malaita Province in partnership with the government of the People's Republic of China. The completion and handing over of 4 bridges in Malaita Province, Kolofe 1, Kolofe 2, Su and Bira bridges in partnership with the World Bank under the SIRAP project. Development of a provincial office of the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock and Land Recording Office in Aoki, Malaita Province. Buala Market in Isabel Province, completed and ready for handing over to the provincial government in partnership with Australia. All-weather upgrade to Taro Airfield in Choiseul Province in partnership with Australia and New Zealand. An all-weather upgrade to Lata Airfield and Terminal in Temotu Province in partnership with the World Bank. an all-weather upgrade to Sega Airfield in partnership with Australia and New Zealand. Western Border Outpost at Lofang in Shortlands is scheduled to be completed in June 2026 in partnership with Australia. The Sega Market on track to be completed in October this year in partnership with Australia. The Naha Bathing Centre scheduled to be completed by June 2026 in partnership with Australia. The establishment of the first weather radar for Solomon Islands at Henderson Airport, funded by New Zealand through the Weather Ready Pacific program. The Henderson International Airport runway resurfacing and airfield lighting project has been completed and commissioned and will be commissioned in June 2025. The airport rescue firefighting complex has been completed and handed over 2 weeks ago. The development of the Eastern Border Outpost in Vanikoro in partnership with Australia. Strengthening of support to provincial governments through approvals for additional funding for PCDF and recruitment of ward support officers for all wards in the country. The successful negotiation with SINTA and SINA, resulting in withdrawal of strike notices by these two important trade unions. Direct support to CPU office complex through our development budget. The upgrading of salaries and benefits for teachers in accordance with the new Education Act. Securing support from the Australian government for expansion of the police force through a multifaceted program, including a new police academy and construction of several new police stations and refurbishment of some existing ones. The establishment of a national task force to lead preparations for the 50th independence anniversary in 2028. We've also stepped up our collaboration with the private sector and initiated reforms, including to address critical issues facing the private sector, such as reform to the Electricity Act, the passing of Special Economic Zone law, and targeted support from line ministries to youth entrepreneurs. The point being, we listened to the private sector and put in place the enabling support to address our economic engine. And of course, over 115 telecommunications towers are now fully operational, with additional towers completed and awaiting activation. And the GNAT government, under my leadership and through the Acting Minister of Commerce, revoked the SEMA, copra and cocoa export management fees last week, which were hurriedly pushed by the former Minister of Commerce without consultation and cabinet approval. Why did we go at a length to revoke these fees? It is because we know and heard the cries of our rural coconut and cocoa farmers. Yes, we do listen to our people in the implementation of our policies. Mr. Speaker, the government through ministries, agencies, statutory bodies, hosted a number of significant regional and international events in the past 2 years, and even up to just a few weeks ago, reflecting our nation's growing engagement and standing within the Pacific and the wider international community. Even our private sector hosted regional and international meetings here in Honiara, reflecting their confidence on our capacity and capability to host such events, and the commitment of the government to support the private sector. So, of particular importance is our hosting and chairing of the Pacific Islands 54th Forum Leaders Meeting, which is a major regional undertaking and a testament to the confidence that Pacific leaders have placed in Solomon Islands. This forum represents the region's highest level political platform or dialogue on shared priorities such as regional unity, climate change, ocean stewardship, sustainable development, peace and security. Hosting the 54th Pacific Islands Forum provides Solomon Islands with a unique opportunity to demonstrate Pacific leadership, hospitality and solidarity. It also allows us to showcase our culture, our identity, and development aspirations to regional and international partners, while placing Solomon Islands at the center of conversations that directly affect the future of our blue Pacific continent. So beyond the forum itself, the government has also hosted and will continue to host various preparatory meetings, ministerial level engagements, and related international events. These gatherings strengthen diplomatic relations, enhance cooperation with development partners, and contribute to knowledge sharing and capacity building across government institutions. The economic and social benefits of hosting international events are also significant. These include increased local business activity in accommodation, transport, catering, security, and tourism-related services, as well as temporary employment opportunities and skills development for Solomon Islanders. Importantly, investments made in infrastructure, logistics, and institutional capacity to support these events will leave a lasting legacy that benefits future national development initiatives. In hosting international events such as the 54th Pacific Islands Forum, Solomon Islands reaffirms its commitment to regional cooperation, multilateralism, and constructive engagement on issues that matter most to Pacific peoples. This is a moment of national pride and a reflection of our collective endeavor to position Solomon Islands as a confident, capable, and respected member of the regional and global community. On this note, Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank my good friend and brother, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs and External Trade, and the MP for Central Rokanat, for his contribution and efforts towards the successful hosting of the above regional and international events. So it is unfortunate that he resigned from his post. But he was the only minister who had the courtesy to come and see me upon resigning. I did not quite understand then why he resigned, but it became clear a few days ago that he was offered the Prime Minister's post by the People's First Party. I wish him all the best in this regard. But my brother, should this offer is withdrawn, the Foreign Affairs portfolio is still vacant, and you are most welcome to take it up. Actually, I made the same offer a couple of weeks ago to another close friend and colleague, Good Bartablomia, the MP for Small Malaita, to also consider taking up some of these vacant portfolios, including Foreign Affairs. But Emles for respond he did not respond. But that's fine. We'll sort this out on the gold field. Mr. Speaker, sir, over the past few weeks, our country was affected by two major events: the Middle East conflict and the Category 5 cyclone Myla, which individually and collectively challenged our economic capacity to respond effectively to this natural disaster. Both events continue to exert impacts as we debate this motion. In relation to the Middle East conflict that had resulted in the shortage of global supply of fuel, coupled with rapidly increasing prices, I am pleased to inform this Honourable House that my government moved quickly to put in place a price smoothing mechanism to ensure small increases in fuel price instead of a rapid price hike. This is also backed by the application of fiscal measures, which was alluded to by the Minister of Finance earlier, including the 100% exemptions on import duty and sales tax, the 50% exemption on goods tax for fuel, which has helped to reduce the increase in fuel price hike. To ease the impacts on SIG revenue, detailed plans are also afoot to increase exercises on sin goods, alcohol, tobacco, and sugary products. The review of the mining agreements to reduce unnecessary fiscal advantages, and restrict non-statutory exemptions. The government is also looking to apply some price control measures on fuel in provinces and in reviewing price control measures on food items. The government will also be putting in place measures to manage fuel and energy security in the country. Sir, in relation to the effect of Cyclone Myla in Western and Tresol provinces, I'm very proud to have been able to lead a team comprising ministers, MPs and senior officials to visit, witness firsthand the impacts and share the suffering of our people devastated by the cyclone. Speaker, sir, I'm pleased to report that immediate humanitarian assistance was delivered to those in the affected areas as swiftly as possible by following the declaration of a state of disaster and the allocation of SBD 10 million by the government for the initial response phase. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to our development partners, NGOs, UN agencies, and the private sector, national MPs, churches, and individuals for their prompt and valuable support to the affected communities. Through the National Disaster Council, the government has also taken a whole-of-government approach to supporting response and early recovery work using existing programs of line ministries. The Cabinet has recently approved a national response and early recovery plan developed by the National Disaster Council to guide response and early recovery work. Say, in spite of the political impasse, we ensured that our people devastated by TC Myla are looked after and supported to recover. GNAT is the only government that has truly recognized tourism as a major economic pillar, Mr. Speaker, demonstrated by its decisive increase in budgetary allocation to the sector, from SBD 10 million to SBD 46 million in 2025 and 2026. This is a substantial uplift. This substantial uplift is not symbolic. It reflects a clear and deliberate commitment to reposition tourism as a key contributor to national development. Mr. Speaker, this increased investment is already delivering tangible results. Through targeted interventions, GNAT has strengthened tourism product offerings, stimulated private sector investment through public-private partnerships, and enhanced international marketing and promotion efforts. At the same time, we have advanced critical legislative reforms to modernize and strengthen governance of the sector. Mr. Speaker, these reforms are not occurring in isolation. They are supported by practical, on-the-ground interventions. Under the Ministry of Culture and Tourism's 2025 development budget, over 70 local tourism operators have received direct financial support over the past 2 years. These targeted investments are designed to increase the number and quality of accommodation facilities, encourage private sector participation in tourism infrastructure, enhance the competitiveness of Solomon Islands as a destination, and create meaningful employment for our people. Say the results are very clear. These interventions have delivered more than 150 international standard rooms, over 250 new beds, and created more than 100 new jobs for Solomon Islanders, directly benefiting local communities and strengthening the domestic tourism value chain just in under 2 years. Additionally, the government is working with the US Millennium Challenge Corporation for a complete redevelopment of Agnes Lodge in Munda, which will become a milestone tourism development and complement the Munda International Airport. Mr. Speaker, GNAT is also investing in the development of new and unique tourism products. Our flagship initiatives, including the Bloody Ridge National Historical Park and the House No. 1 Museum, are positioning Solomon Islands as a distinctive destination for history and heritage tourism, while preserving our rich cultural legacy for future generations. Importantly, sir, the sector is now regaining momentum following the global disruption of recent years. In 2025, visitor arrivals increased by 8.5% compared to 2024, signaling a steady recovery and renewed confidence in Solomon Islands as a tourism destination, generating an estimate of over 500 million into the economy. Mr. Speaker, these achievements are not accidental. They are the result of deliberate policy choices, strategic investments, and strong leadership under GNAT. More importantly, they lay a solid foundation for the future. Mr. Speaker, this is the record of a government that is delivering real results, not rhetoric, and building a stronger, more resilient economy for the people of Solomon Islands. Sir, the GNAT government is also progressing several transformational national projects as part of the country's 50th independence anniversary commemoration. These include the extension of the international airport runway and terminal scheduled for completion in the first quarter of 2028. The Royal Solomon Islands Police Force Academy scheduled for completion in the first quarter of 2028. The official residence for the Prime Minister scheduled for completion in the first quarter of 2028. The new office building for the Electoral Commission scheduled for completion by 2028. The upgrade to the Solomon Islands Port Authority International Wharf in Honiara. Progressing the Bina Harbour tuna processing project. And we initiate work towards the revival of Marine Service Department to service our outer islands, especially Malaita Outer Island and Temotu Province, and support delivery of essential services. We also initiate work towards the development of a sovereign wealth fund, and of course, the sealing of the North Malaita Road. Say most of these projects have already been scoped with donors identified and engaged already. Let us unite and transform our beloved country and our beloved people. It is these people that we serve, not the private business interests that wants members of parliament to do their bidding. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, as you will see in the examples I stated above, the Government of National Unity and Transformation has continued to deliver transformational and beneficial results to the people of Solomon Islands and will continue to deliver. As Prime Minister, I am proud to have led GNAT to deliver more achievements in 2 years than most governments have managed to deliver in a full term of Parliament. What I state above is a vote of confidence in the Government of National Unity and Transformation, a vote of confidence in my own ability as Prime Minister and servant of the people of Solomon Islands to lead by serving our country. Sir, before I conclude, let me once again take the opportunity to thank a number of stakeholders, our development partners, for their ongoing support towards the development aspirations of our beloved country. Our provincial government premiers for their close collaboration with me and support for the GNAT government. Our permanent secretaries and all public servants for their service delivery to our people and country. I wish to acknowledge, in particular, the staff and senior executive officers in the Office of the Prime Minister and Cabinet for their work and support. The Royal Solomon Islands Police Force and its partners for maintaining law and order in our country. I wish to thank, in particular, members of my close protection team for their daily security services. I also thank all our churches for their prayers and support behind me and the GNAT. The chiefs, leaders, and people of Ogranok-Kihavle constituency for their ongoing support to me as their Member of Parliament. And finally, I wish to sincerely thank my spouse, children, and grandchildren for their daily support, love, care, and encouragement. Sir, some people, including a few colleagues on the other side of the House, have been calling for me to resign since the political impasse began. I did not bow down to their calls or demands, because I have done nothing wrong. And today, I heard, you all heard, there are no tangible, substantive reasons which requires me as Prime Minister to resign. Say, as a matter of principle, I will only resign on the floor of Parliament when and after the vote is taken in a moment's time. And then I will realize that I don't have the required parliamentary majority. That's when I resign. I don't resign outside the floor of Parliament, as I've said. Mr. Speaker, in closing, I see no reason why the motion of no confidence should pass. I see no reason why I should resign as Prime Minister, because I have delivered to the people of Solomon Islands. I have not been informed of any of the reasons why I should step down or resign from the role of Prime Minister that I currently hold. Of course, we had some debates on this afternoon, and those debates sound more like a motion of sine die debate than a motion of no confidence debate. So, Mr. Speaker, as I have said, I wish to declare it here on the floor of our Parliament that our party and the candidate party are willing to accommodate any political party in forming a new government. And we are willing to work with their party leaders, including on the issue or on the matter of leadership. We are willing to make that sacrifice so that the work that we have done over the past 2 years can continue. Our people and their needs come first. This is why we are willing to make this sacrifice and agree on a compromise. If the Solomon Islands People First Party is willing to make that sacrifice as well and give up the Prime Minister position, the question then is, are you willing to enter into a coalition agreement with the People's First Party? A party that has orchestrated 3 motions of no confidence against their own coalition partner within a space of 2 years. Is People's First Party a loyal and trustworthy partner? Say this is not a timing for politicking. This is a timing to work and deliver. With these remarks, Mr. Speaker, I resume my seat, and I do not support the motion.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. With those, I will now call on the Honourable Member for South Vela Lavela to deliver his speech in reply, and after which I will put the question. Honourable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity once again to respond to the few remarks been said in the chamber. Mr. Speaker, the strategy has worked in how I deliver the opening remark. It is meant to generalize issues. The reason as to why I don't want mud slinging happening here. Most of the people who took part in the debate, Mr. Speaker, they're kind of debating like a sine die motion. I was looking for how we can improve on the motion of no confidence. Section 34 doesn't require a list to be submitted for debate. But, Mr. Speaker, you can look on the other side, the opposition side. There's 27 of us, 27 reasons as to why we are on the other side, on the opposition. Mr. Speaker, all of the ministers and the government side, they know the reason as to why we moved. So there's no reason as to why they were asking for reasons. People are talking about stability. Mr. Speaker, instability happened the first day when we tried to form up the government. Unfortunately, the former Prime Minister, member for East Tresol and the current DPM, he walked out when the current Prime Minister was said to lead the group. He used the word hijacked, unfortunately. Is that not stability or instability? Instability, as the Minister of Finance have stated himself clearly, four ministers within a period of 2 years. Is that stability? I don't think so, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I have, in my brief speech, I have listed few issues of concern. That's why we moved out. I'm not going to talk about those, because most of the things were said by the other speakers. But as various speakers have said, there's mistrust. The Prime Minister was true. I was trying to work very closely with him. Unfortunately, there were decisions that were made without my consent as well, or my knowledge. There were others who are pulling the strings, as other speakers have said. And that's a little bit difficult on that part, unfortunately. There were also areas that the Prime Minister made an indecisive decision. He left overseas, and I was the acting Prime Minister, and he gave me tasks to perform. I do my task diligently. One good example is the appointment of permanent secretaries, putting them in different ministries. Unfortunately, so the job was done. When he came back, the Prime Minister, he revoked it, unfortunately. There are also other members who stated, why grasshopping, jumping here and there. But some of these speakers, they were the first to jump, unfortunately. This time, Mr. Speaker, it's the first time for me, because I can't work in an environment that we are not respected. They don't give confidence in us. It's better for us to move out. Mr. Speaker, we were supposed to be fired on Tuesday. We were supposed to be fired on Tuesday. We resigned on Sunday, 2 days before. It's better to resign than to be fired, unfortunately. But I don't want to put more effort on the response, as most have been said. The only person I really appreciate his contribution is the Minister of Forestry. He clearly put the importance of what we should do, the constitutional amendments, and I really uphold him for that. And not mudslinging across each other. We are brothers and sisters here. We know each other, we are very close, we are leaders, and we should respect each other. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude with a quote from Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1 to 8. And I read, this one in favorite blongo, friend blomilo, northeast. This all Psalms, yeah. Favorite blomio. Him say, Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1 to 8. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under this heaven. With these remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you, Honourable Member for South Gallavella. Honourable members, the question is that the National Parliament of Solomon Islands resolved it has no confidence in the Prime Minister. And of course, normally under Standing Order 41, a collection of votes is taken first before a division may be called. However, Section 34(1) of the Constitution expressly states that a motion of no confidence may only be passed if it is supported by an absolute majority of the votes of members thereof. And it is unlikely that I will be able to determine whether or not this motion has the support of the kind of majority by a simple majority, a simple voice collection. As such, we will go straight to division in the manner set out in Standing Order 42. Definition of absolute majority is defined under Section 144 of the Constitution. This is going to be applied in the context of putting the motion to vote by members. Thank you.
Honourable members, the bell will be rung for 2 minutes, just to give time for those members who are still outside the chamber to come into the chamber. And also, at which time a member should not leave the chamber. Honourable members, I will ask each member separately in alphabetical order how you wish to vote. When I call out the name, please give a clear aye to vote for the motion or no to vote against it, or abstain to indicate that you do not wish to vote either way. I will repeat, when I call your name, please give a clear aye to vote for the motion, or no to vote against it, or abstain to indicate that you do not wish to vote either way. I will repeat one last time in Pidgin. Tami kolem lembluyu, you vote aye if you support the motion, or no if you no support the motion, or abstain if you don't like vote. I will proceed with the division. I will not proceed with the division. Honorable Sanel Angkowaka. Honorable Chatsabule Rebiamoy.
Aye.
Honorable James Bonuga. Honorable Paul Papura Boswai. Honorable Trelin Im Douglas.
No.
Honorable Ricky Fuo. Honorable Mary Daniel Zagaru. No. Honorable Wayne Osopogemo. Honorable David Gina.
No.
Honorable Rick Nelson Honupuela.
Aye.
Honorable Peter Kenlore Jr.
Aye.
Honorable Frederick Colgetto. Honorable John Dean Kuku.
Absent.
Honorable Harry Kumar. Honorable Stephen Kumi. Honorable Tozen Leokana. No. Honorable Gorandasi Lilo. Honorable Manasa Mailanga. Honorable Ben Mainu.
No.
Honorable Trevor Headley Mahaga. Honorable Jeremiah Manere. Honorable John Maneneru. Honorable Derek Rockcliffe Manuari. Honorable William Bradford Marau is absent. Honorable Kathy Launa Nori.
No.
Honorable Polycarp Paya. Honorable Rickson Annex Ramofafia. Honorable Lazarus Alfred Rina. Honorable Clayzy Rore. Honorable Francis Sade. Honorable Oliver Salokupuka. Honorable Roland Seleso. Honorable Stanley Festus Sofu. Honorable Manasseh Damukana Sogovare. Honorable Frida Tuki Soria Kumwa. Honorable Makario Tagini. Honorable Jimson Fiau Tanagada. Honorable Claudius Stafey. Honorable George Temahua. Honorable Maurice Torena. Honorable Bradley Tosia. Honorable Namson Tran.
No.
Honorable Alfred Tuasulia.
No.
Honorable John Tuhaika Jr. Honorable Ezekiel Iwave Jr. Honorable Jamie Lindsay Bokia.
No.
Honorable Matthew Kupawale. Honorable Daniel Sulia Waneroa. Honorable Franklin Derrick Wasi. Apologies. Honorable Nestor Giro. Thank you.
Thank you, honourable members. The outcome of the vote is that the ayes 26, noes 22, and 2 absentees. The motion is therefore carried. Thank you. Honourable members, although the motion is passed, the Honourable Prime Minister remains in office and performs his normal duties until he is officially removed by His Excellency the Governor-General in accordance with Section 34(1) of the Constitution. I will now therefore call on the Honourable Prime Minister to exercise his constitutional powers and move the adjournment. In line with precedent of this House, I suggest that the Honourable Prime Minister move a motion of sine die. Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I move that at the adjournment of Parliament on Thursday, 7th May 2026, the present meeting shall be concluded and Parliament shall then stand adjourned sine die. So the reasons behind this adjournment is to allow Parliament and His Excellency the Government House to make arrangements for the election of the Prime Minister. So that's the only reason. But let me take the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to thank you for presiding over today's proceedings and the debate on the motion of no confidence. I also thank both sides of the House who took the opportunity to debate the motion. I congratulate the other side for winning the motion. But also let me take the opportunity to sincerely thank members of the GNAT, the ministers and backbenchers who've been with me during the past 7 weeks. I truly value your contributions that you have rendered to our people. On the same note, I also thank our public servants, as I've said, for the service that you continue to render to our people, to our country during the last 7 weeks. It's only 50 of us in this House, so I hope as leaders we continue to work for the betterment of this country. We have a beautiful country. And it is important that both sides of the House continue to work together to deliver goods and services for our people going forward. So, Mr. Speaker, with that, once again, as I've said, the main reason for this sine die motion is to allow your office, working closely with Government House, to come up with the arrangements, including notices for the election of the next Prime Minister. So let me take the opportunity also on behalf of GNAT to wish the new coalition, whoever the Prime Minister will be, and ministers, I hope you will continue to deliver for the good of our people and country. I think we all agree that national interest is the most critical thing, that as leaders, as 50 members of parliament, we continue to advance what is good for our country, what is good for our people, what is good for our provinces, and not what is good for himself. So I hope that we'll continue to put national interests ahead of our own party interests, ahead of our own personal interests. We are scheduled to graduate in 2027. In 2028, we are also going to celebrate 50 years of independence. These are important milestones, and I hope that the next government will continue to build on what this government has established in terms of preparing for those two important events. Of course, 2028 is also election year, so I hope that the next government could also look into that. 2028, we have 50th independence anniversary, but also it is an election year, whether as a government, as a country, will be able to have both events during the same year. These are huge events with huge financial implications. But leaders, colleague leaders, thank you for the support that you have given me in the last 2 years. I appreciate the support. Thank you, Speaker and the clerk and staff, for facilitating our business over the last 2 years. I truly appreciate that, as well as to chairmen and members of various parliamentary committees. I know a good number of them have resigned. I'm sure you'll be in the process of appointing. You're already in the process of appointing a chairperson. I think the role that chairmen and members of those parliamentary standing committees play is critical. It's critical to the work of Parliament and the work of any government. So I hope we can also attend to those very quickly, so Parliament or government business can proceed as soon as the new government settles in. The last 50 years, colleagues, has been very challenging for us as a country, as a people. Our responsibility is to ensure that the next 50 years is better. It's better than the last 50 years. So with those comments, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the adjournment of Parliament on the 7th of May 2026, the present meeting, shall be concluded and Parliament shall then adjourn sine die.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. If I put a question, any member wish to speak on the motion. Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, sir, and I do wish to thank the Honourable Prime Minister for moving this motion. Of course, as he explained, from here on, His Excellency will take over the process, so nominations will open at a time that he hand me by to him, and then let me close, and then there will be an election. Of course, the formation of a new government, and that government will need some time to put together its policy and know it's something awesome. And then let's call me back. I'll meet back for His Excellency to come and address him. So obviously, this is a wiser option than a special adjournment, so that the new government is given the time and space to be able to get a handle on how better like for Elite Mimimoa. I didn't speak during the debate on the motion of no confidence, and I don't intend to do that now, but I do wish to thank the Honourable Prime Minister. Sorry, sir. It's not an easy situation. Obviously, we're on opposite sides on this fellow matter, but may he like for thanking you and all prime ministers before you. Let me know easy task to lead our nation. Of course, issues of governance and also Yumi must handle it, and so it's important that Yumi come together, law here, and sort them out, and these decisions have to be made for upholding constitutional framework below Yumi, and to make sure that the government of the people continues to deliver to the people. So, like for expressing my appreciation for what you've been able to offer and deliver on behalf of people below Yumi. At the end of the day, we don't ourselves individually own the government. We exercise these public offices on behalf of our people, and that comes with an onerous responsibility. And so, but nevertheless, Yumi ogat man to human beings, so at that level, I do wish to express my appreciation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition. So, further comments on the motion, let me now put the question. Honourable members, the question is that at the adjournment of Parliament on Thursday, 7th May 2026, the present meeting shall be concluded and Parliament shall then stand adjourned sine die. All those in favour, say aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The House will, at each adjournment today, stand adjourned sine die. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I move that Parliament do now adjourn.
Thank you, honourable members. The question is that Parliament do now adjourn. All those in favour, say aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The House is now adjourned sine die.
All right, welcome back after a long day today. Parliament deliberations for today may now come to an end with a motion of sine die being passed. That one for allow another process, a process of nominations and the formation of a new government. As you might hear him come finish or watch him come earlier today, we just go through normal result of the motion of no confidence against the Prime Minister. Hemi passed. The result is the ayes, those who support him, this for the motion, 26. Those who against him or noes, Hemi 22. No any abstain, and 2 for the absenteeism. Now the result, 26-22 in favor of the motion. As you heard him come, the Speaker Hemi Talem, the Prime Minister, Baba Hemi still remain in office until time where the office, Governor General, with them the National Parliament, or facilitate him another process, that is the process of nomination, where Baba Hemi Herem Huna, or candidates for the next Prime Minister. That one, Baba Hemi take him some time, so Prime Minister Hemi move motion of sine die for allow time for this process for him to happen. So while Hemi on sine die motion, the process for clerk and the office of the Governor General for administer and facilitate him this process for nomination, Parliament Baba Hemi stand adjourned sine die. From all of us here, Law National Parliament, thank you for the viewers, for Yumi, or for you, what's come and Yumi experiencing this democratic process he may go through law today. From me, Philemon Loy, and also Dwayne Bayabe and Lawrence Scott, Yumi catch up one time, bye-bye, Parliament he may meet.